Tyler and I made a promise when we were 16. No matter what happened later, college, girlfriends, moving away, any of it, we wouldn't let anything ruin our friendship. Back then, it seemed like the easiest promise in the world. Because back then, I was the only one hiding something. We were lying on the roof of his parents' garage, staring up at the stars like we did every summer. Tyler had one arm behind his head and a soda in the other hand. "People change when they leave this town," he said. I shrugged. "Not us." He turned his head and looked at me. "You're way too stubborn to change. Pretty sure that's you." He laughed softly, then went quiet for a moment. "You're my best friend," he said. The way he said it felt heavier than it should have. "Always," I told him. And that was the promise. The problem with promises you make at 16 is that life doesn't always care about them. 8 years later, Tyler still hadn't changed much. He was still loud, still confident, still the guy everyone in town liked. Girls liked him too, a lot. I tried not to pay attention to how many of them he dated, or how none of those relationships ever lasted very long. Because the one thing that had changed over the years was me. Tyler knew I was gay. He was the first person I told. And he never made it weird. He didn't pull away, didn't treat me differently. If anything, he got even more protective. Which is why what happened that night made everything so confusing. Started like any other night. Movie night at Tyler's apartment. Takeout boxes all over the table. Some random basketball game playing on the TV in the background. Tyler was half watching while scrolling through his phone. "Another date?" I asked. He groaned. "Don't remind me. You're the one who said yes." She seemed cool at first. And she spent 20 minutes talking about astrology. I laughed. Deal breaker. Massive. He tossed his phone onto the couch and leaned back. Then he looked at me. "You ever think about dating someone here?" he asked. "In this town?" I said. "Yeah." I shrugged. "Options are kinda limited." Tyler didn't smile. Instead, he just kept looking at me. "You could always move," he said. "Why would I leave? You always wanted more than this place." Maybe that was true. But the real reason was simpler. "You're here," I said. Tyler looked away almost immediately. That answer caught him off guard. Later that night, the power went out. A storm rolled in fast, knocking out electricity across half the block. The apartment went dark except for flashes of lightning through the windows. "Perfect," Tyler muttered. We grabbed a couple of candles and sat back down on the couch. Rain hammered against the roof. The room felt smaller somehow, quieter. The kind of quiet that makes people say things they probably shouldn't. Tyler leaned forward, elbows on his knees. "You ever think about how things could have turned out differently?" he asked. "Different how?" He shrugged. "Different choices, different people." Lightning flashed across the room. For a second, his face looked nervous, which wasn't normal for Tyler. "You regret something?" I asked. He didn't answer right away. Instead, he turned toward me, not casually, like he was studying something. Then he asked something I wasn't expecting. "Do you ever look at me like that?" My stomach tightened. "Like what?" "As you look at guys you're into." The question sounded casual, but it didn't feel casual. "You're my best friend," I said carefully. "I know." He leaned back, still watching me. That wasn't the question. The storm outside got louder, and suddenly the couch felt way too small. "You said you were straight," I reminded him. Tyler's jaw tightened slightly. "Yeah." The silence between us stretched. Heavy. Complicated. Then he laughed it off and stood up. "Relax," he said. "I'm messing with you." But when he walked past me toward the kitchen, his shoulder brushed mine, and he stopped, just for a second. Not long, but long enough to make my chest tighten. Because that moment didn't feel like a joke. It felt like the start of something neither of us understood yet. The next morning, Tyler acted like the storm never happened, like the question he asked me didn't exist. He was already awake when I came into the kitchen. Coffee brewing. Music is playing on his phone. Completely normal. "Morning," he said. "Morning." No awkwardness. No tension. If I hadn't been there the night before, I might have believed nothing happened. But I remembered the way he looked at me when the lightning flashed. People don't forget moments like that overnight. They just pretend they didn't happen. A few days later, I met someone. His name was Adrian. He worked at the bookstore downtown and had this calm, easy way of talking that made every conversation feel relaxed. We grabbed coffee first, then dinner the next night, then another coffee. It wasn't serious yet, but it was going somewhere, which is why I made the mistake of telling Tyler. We were playing basketball at the park like we used to back in high school. I mentioned it casually while grabbing the ball. "I've been seeing someone." Tyler stopped moving. The ball bounced once between us and rolled away. "Seeing someone?" he repeated. "Yeah." "Who?" "Guy I met downtown." For a second, Tyler didn't say anything. Then he bent down, picked up the ball, and bounced it hard against the pavement. "You serious?" he asked. "Maybe." He looked away, then laughed under his breath. "Already? What's that supposed to mean? You just met him." "That's how dating works." Tyler didn't answer. He just passed the ball back harder than necessary. We kept playing. But something about the game changed. Tyler started pushing harder, blocking shots aggressively, shoving past me when he went for rebounds. Finally, I grabbed the ball and stopped. "What's your problem?" "Nothing. You're acting weird." "I'm not." "You are." Tyler rubbed the back of his neck, then muttered, "Forget it." That night, Adrian texted me, "Dinner again?" I said yes, and that's when Tyler started showing up. The first time was at the cafe. Adrian and I were halfway through our drinks when Tyler walked in. He stopped when he saw us, then smiled like it was the most normal thing in the world. "Hey," he said, "what are you doing here?" I asked. "Just passing by." He grabbed coffee and sat at another table. But the entire time we were there, I could feel his eyes on us. The second time happened a few days later. Adrian suggested a small bar downtown. When we walked in, Tyler was already there, leaning against the bar with a drink in his hand. Adrian noticed him almost immediately. "Your friend?" he asked. "Yeah." Tyler raised his glass slightly when he saw me, like it was a coincidence. But it didn't feel like a coincidence. We sat at a table near the window. I tried focusing on Adrian, but every time I looked up, Tyler was watching, not talking, not smiling, just watching. Adrian followed my gaze once, then leaned closer to me. "That guy's been staring at us for 10 minutes, he said quietly. "He's my best friend." "Oh," Adrian glanced back at him. "He doesn't look happy." I looked over again. Tyler's arms were crossed. His eyes locked on us. His jaw is tight. Adrian hesitated before saying the next thing. "He kinda looks jealous." I laughed softly. "Trust me. He's straight." But when I looked across the room again, Tyler was still staring. And for the first time since I'd known him, he didn't look like someone who was completely sure of that. By the third time Tyler showed up where Adrian and I were, it stopped feeling like a coincidence. It started feeling intentional. That night, we were at a small bar downtown. Nothing fancy. Low lights, music playing, people talking over drinks. Adrian was telling me a story about something ridiculous that happened at work when I felt it again. That feeling, like someone was watching me. I didn't even need to turn around to know who it was. Tyler was standing at the end of the bar, arms crossed, drink in his hand, eyes locked on our table. Adrian noticed it too. "Your friend again?" he asked. "Yeah." Adrian looked over his shoulder. "He's definitely staring at us." I tried to shrug it off. "He does that sometimes." But even I knew that wasn't true. Tyler wasn't just looking. He looked irritated, like he was trying very hard not to walk over. About 20 minutes later, Adrian laughed at something I said and lightly touched my arm. It was casual, friendly, but the moment it happened, Tyler moved. He crossed the room in seconds, stopped right next to our table. "Hey," he said. Adrian looked up. "Oh hey, You're the friend. Tyler barely looked at him. His eyes stayed on me. You ready to go? Tyler asked. I frowned. I'm kind of in the middle of something. Tyler glanced at Adrian then. Just a quick look. Cold. Measuring. It's getting late, he said. I'm fine. Adrian shifted in his seat. We were just talking. Tyler let out a slow breath. I can see that. The tension between the three of us got thick fast. Adrian looked confused. Is everything okay? He asked. Tyler finally turned toward him. You mind giving us a minute? Adrian raised an eyebrow. That's up to him, he said, nodding toward me. Tyler looked back at me. Something about his expression made my chest tighten. Just a second, I told Adrian. Reluctantly, Adrian stood up and stepped toward the bar. The second he was gone, Tyler grabbed my wrist and pulled me toward the door. Not violently, but urgently. What are you doing? I said. Talking to you. Outside, the cool night air felt a lot quieter than the bar. Tyler finally let go of my wrist. You need to stop seeing that guy, he said. I blinked. Excuse me? You heard me. You don't get to decide who I date. Tyler ran a frustrated hand through his hair. I know that. Then why are you acting like this? He didn't answer right away. Instead, he started pacing, back and forth, like something inside him was fighting to get out. You've been showing up everywhere I go, I said. I wasn't following you. You were at the cafe. Silence. And the bar. More silence. That's not normal, Tyler. He stopped pacing. You're jealous, I said. His head snapped up. No. Yes. No, he repeated. Then what is this? Tyler opened his mouth, closed it again, then looked away. I don't like him, he muttered. That's not a reason. He looks at you like. He stopped himself. Like what? I asked. Tyler looked back at me, and for the first time since we were kids, he looked nervous. Like he's allowed to. My stomach tightened. You don't own me, I said quietly. I know. Then stop acting like it. I'm trying. His voice cracked slightly on the last word. That caught me off guard. Tyler never cracks. He's always the confident one. The guy who walks into a room like he owns it. But right now he looked completely lost. You're straight, I reminded him. Tyler laughed, but it wasn't a happy laugh. You keep saying that like it explains everything. It does. Does it? He stepped closer. Close enough that I could see the conflict in his eyes. You think I like feeling like this? He asked. Like what? Like every time he touches you, I want to pull him off you. My heart skipped. Tyler, I tried ignoring it, he said. I tried pretending it didn't mean anything. Another step closer. But then you started smiling at him the way you used to smile at me. That line hit harder than anything else he'd said. You're my best friend, I said. I know. And if this ruins that, it already is, Tyler interrupted quietly. Silence filled the street. Then he said something neither of us expected. I think I made a mistake. What mistake? His eyes met mine. Saying I was straight. The street outside the bar was quiet. Tyler's words were still hanging in the air. I think I made a mistake. Saying I was straight. I stared at him. Tyler had always been the most confident person I knew. The guy who never second-guessed himself. But right now he looked completely unsure. You don't just realize something like that overnight, I said carefully. I didn't realize it overnight, he replied. His voice was low now. I've been trying not to see it for months. My heart started beating faster. See what? Tyler rubbed the back of his neck, frustrated. The way I feel every time you bring a guy around. He took a breath. Every time someone touches you, another step closer. Every time I realize I might actually lose you to someone else. That last sentence hit harder than I expected. You're not losing me, I said. Tyler shook his head slowly. Aren't I? He looked at me like he was trying to read something on my face. You're building a life, he continued. Dating people. Meeting someone new. A pause. And I'm standing there pretending I'm okay with it. That's because you told me you were straight, I said. I know. You said it like it was final. I thought it was. The honesty in his voice made my chest tighten. You could have told me earlier, I said quietly. Tyler laughed softly. You think I understood it earlier? He shook his head. I kept telling myself it was just jealousy because you're my best friend. Another breath. But the more I tried ignoring it, the worse it got. I crossed my arms slightly. What about Adrian? Tyler didn't hesitate. I don't care about Adrian. That's not what I mean. I held his gaze. You don't get to say all this just because you're scared of losing me. Tyler nodded slowly. You're right. That surprised me. I don't want you choosing me because you're afraid, I continued. I want you to choose me because it's real. Tyler stepped closer again. Now there was barely any space between us. I am choosing you, he said. For real. His voice was steady this time. When you started pulling away, that's when it finally hit me. Hit you how? That the worst thing that could happen wasn't people thinking I wasn't straight. A small pause. It was losing you. The honesty in his voice made it impossible to look away. For years, we'd been walking around something neither of us wanted to name. Now it was finally out in the open. You're sure about this? I asked. Tyler nodded once. For the first time in my life. His hand moved slightly, hesitating before resting lightly against my arm. Not controlling, just careful. I don't know exactly what these changes are yet, he admitted. But I know how it feels when someone else touches you. My pulse jumped. And how does it feel? I asked quietly. Tyler met my eyes. Wrong. Then he added softly, because the person I want touching you is me. For a moment, neither of us spoke. Then I laughed quietly. You realize it took you 8 years to figure that out. Tyler smiled for the first time that night. Yeah, he said. I'm a little slow. I shook my head. You're an idiot. Probably. But he didn't step back. Neither did I. And for the first time since we were 16, we both knew that promise we made about nothing changing. It had already changed. But somehow, it had turned into something better. And this time, neither of us was pretending it was just friendship anymore.